Welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mr. Graven. Alright guys, so once again, Horns of the Reach is finally here for console, so guess what? It's time for me to give you an update on my Evergreen build. So, there's not a lot of changes to this build, just CP points. But I want to go ahead and recap on the entire build for players that are still trying to struggle with the Warden Healer or players looking to get into Warden Healing. So we'll do a recap, just to recap on what I'm currently doing with this build and giving you your options based on content, and we'll go over the CP system, which is the most important part to this video, just because the Horns of the Reach gave us an additional 30 points towards our CP. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, as usual, I'm going to go ahead and open up my character sheet. You're going to go ahead and see... Oh, my food buff isn't up. Let's apply that. Okay. You're going to go ahead and see my max magicka currently at 41,528. Yes, I did say currently. Magicka recovery is at 1,252. Max health is at 19,490. And you're going to see my spell crit currently at 52. To the left, you're going to go ahead and see magicka is allocated at 54. Health is at 10. And of course, we're running the Thief Mundus, right? Okay, so that is Resto. Oh, that was Destro. Resto, same thing. Absolutely nothing has changed except my spell crit has dropped. For the people who aren't aware why this is happening, I will explain it. But you also see magical recovery is boosted up. And for the people who are aware of the Warden Healer and this build, you all know why. But we will go ahead and get into it. Okay, now the first thing I want to go ahead and do, we're going to go over the gear again. Okay, with this build, I use the Necropotence. I use a Mulakina head. Now this is my medium because my heavy is on somebody else, but I do recommend the heavy because of the passives in heavy armor that will increase your health recovery. So I would recommend the heavy, but I have my medium on, so that's not ideal, but you know. Then I have also spell power cure. All right, so everybody's up to date with the gear, but I'll go down piece by piece. Okay. We have a Resto Staff of Necropotence powered. It's very important if I'm using a drop set as a healer that I try to acquire the powered trait. The main reason being because it increases the healing done by 9% when it's gold. It is probably, besides the crafted set that you can use for healers, that doesn't matter what, like Izamara, Krogs, whatever, Nirnhone would outbeat powered for healing. But for a drop set, power trait for a healer is just the way to go. Every day, all day. Do not let anybody tell you different, because that 9% definitely spikes up your healing big time. So I have the Restoration Staff, and I also have the Lightning Staff empowered. All right, those are the two key elements that I'm going to need for this build, is the Lightning Staff and the Resto. So we go Resto Destro. Okay, as I mentioned, I have the Mulakina's Mask. It's in Divine. That is ideal, but I have the medium. I recommend heavy. All right, the only reason I'm going to use the head is just giving me the additional spell damage, increasing my healing capability. So that's why I want the Mulakina head. I have the Robe of Necropotence infused. This is ideal. For anybody who's not aware, most of us know, Necropotence gives max magicka, max magicka, max magicka. When I have a pet active, my max magicka is increased by 3,150. Also, we have the spell power cure, epilots. Once again, this is divine. It's ideal. It's glyphed with health, but I don't have it gold yet. I have a lot of tunes, so just bear with me, guys. But that is ideal. Spell power cure, sash, divine, glyphed max health. Ideal. I have the Gloves of Necropotence, Divine, Max Magicka, Ideal. Spell Power Cure, Breachers, Divine. I actually want the Infused. I always seem to get Divine Spell Power Cure. But, yeah, okay. It works. Also, Shoes of Necropotence, Divine, Glyph Max Health. I also have Necklace of Necropotence, Recovery. I have Spell Power Cure, Ring, Spell Power. and another spell power cure ring lift with recovery. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get into the skills, and then I'll get in the CP system and discuss options, rotations, and so on and so forth. Okay, so on resto side, this is very important. I use mutagen. One of the major problems with the Warden healer is line of sight issues. So I prefer to use the mutagen as my starter for most of my heals. The major reason being because it gives me a hot right from the rip. It allows me to go ahead and heal me or two nearby allies for 18,546 over 20 seconds. The best aspect to this ability is the secondary effect, which is if my ally falls below 20% health, the mutagen is consumed, but heals immediately for 6,420 and removes one harmful effect. So it actually heals for less, but it also cleanses them and then also gives them an immediate heal while I'm going through my rotation. So I really like mutagen on the Warden healer because of those line of sight issues. It allows me to it gives me time to position myself in those very crucial moments. Okay, no surprise, all of my healers have pretty much a standard layout, but I do have healing springs. I don't even have any builds typically that don't run healing springs as a healer. The main reason I'm always going to use this, it applies an area effect hot, and then I'm also restoring 338 magicka for every target within its vicinity. So to me, that's always a big plus to recoup all my resources. Once again, the law for healers, combat prayer. If you do not have combat prayer and you are a healer, please put down your restoration staff, walk away from healing. This is always a must. Now, you can always switch it out if you're in a trial and one person's running combat prayer. Unless you're doing a split. Depending on the mechanics, you may need combat prayer. But let's say that it's a stacked scenario, like the last ball in Maul. Right? Or, well, can't say Sanctum because the tank pulls away, but you wouldn't need combat prayer on that situation either. But anyways, if there's times that you don't need combat prayer, you can deslot it. But on stacks, if they're split, you'll need it. If they're stacked, you won't, and you can go without it. But in most of your 4-mans, every healer should be running combat prayer. The major reason, it gives you a ton, you and your allies, a ton of buffs. It gives the minor berserk, the minor resolve, the minor ward, increases my allies' damage done by 8% and increases their physical and spell resistance. The more resistance they have, the less you have to heal. That's important. So I'm always going to go ahead and have combat prayer on every healer. I live and die by this ability. Blue Betty. The Blue Betty is going to activate the Necropotence, and it's also going to go ahead and restore 4,029 magic over 25 seconds to me. It also gives me my major sorcery, increasing my spell damage by 20%. And consequently, when you increase your spell damage, that's right, you're also increasing your healing. So that's why I want to go ahead and use the Blue Betty. Lotus Blossom. The best aspect to the Warden healer is this ability right here. Versus any other healer, I can heal with a lightning staff using this ability. Because what it allows me to do is activate it. I get major prophecy, increasing my critical value. And then on top of it, my light attacks heal for 1,668 health, and my fully charged heavy attacks heal for 5,006 health. So I can use the restoration staff on top of this, getting a double heal effect, or I can use the lightning staff, deal damage, and guess what? That's right, continue to heal. So this ability is what gives the Warden a lot of flexibility during those line of sight issues, is its powerful weave capability using this skill. So I'm going to take advantage of it. Also, we have the Northern Storms. The Northern Storms is going to be slotted for one primary reason. I typically will use it on a lot of trash mobs, but the main reason I want it is going to give me the max magicka of 8%. The higher my values of my max magicka, the more resource pool I have, and second, I also am increasing my healing capability for this bar. So yeah, going to take advantage of it every day, all day. So on the Destro side, now that's the resto, this is the Destro. I'm going to use the Enchanted Growth. Enchanted Growth is a great instant heal, right? So anything within its cone is going to heal for 8,183. The best aspect that I also really like about this, I can use it in a clinch moment at any time as a spammable, but it also applies the minor intellect, the minor endurance, and thus increasing magic and stamina recovery by 10% for 20 seconds to me and my allies. So yeah, that is a utility. I want to go ahead and apply those buffs. Okay, that's the minor, not the major. So yeah, I'm going to apply it. Budding Seeds. Now, the best thing about Budding Seeds is I can go ahead and let it do its thing, or I can go ahead and activate it prematurely. I never want to activate it prematurely, though. The reason being because it offers the synergy. If I activate it early, they'll lose out on that synergy. By letting it sit there, they get the chance to activate the synergy, healing themselves for 14,718 over 5 seconds. So it's a very powerful high. If they don't need it and they go ahead and let it do its thing, it's going to heal everybody in the vicinity for 12,273. This is where you have to correlate in those group situations, especially in trials, to go ahead and decide, do you pop the budding seed? Does a player pop the budding seeds, or do they let it resolve, thus healing the group within its vicinity? You have to go ahead and correlate that a lot better. Now, one of the major things that I also like is with this is I want to try to make my builds more accommodable for trials and whatever and so on and so forth. So I do have the Elemental Drain, which, no surprise, it doesn't cost anything. I can apply it to a target, and it's going to give the minor magic steal, which restores 300 magicka every second when any of my allies are hitting that target. So it's kind of nice. I don't use it on the Templar as much, but for my Warden, obviously I'm going to go ahead and use it. I will give you the alternative if you're running all Stam in 4-mans. Okay, also I'm going to use the Energy Orb. I don't have shards as a Warden, so I need to offer utility to sustain my DPS's or my tank's resources. Energy Orbs is the best solution for the Warden because Wardens have a line of sight issue. So this is going to go ahead and throw out the orb, healing for 1,039 health every 0.5 seconds. Also, they can pop it, use the synergy for an instant heal for 7,457, and then restore either 3,906 magicka or stamina, whichever value is higher. So to me, I need that utility. It's got to happen. Now, on this side, I do have the Inner Light. Now, why do I have Inner Light on this side and not the back bar? Well, that's simple. Because I have my max magicka by 8% here. This gives me 5. Also, keep in mind, I'm using Lotus Blossom, which gives me the Major Prophecy, which I always have this up here. So that's the only reason. It's covering the distance of the 5 and the 8% value loss. I want to try to close those gaps as much as possible. Also, of course, I'm a healer. You know I'm going to have the aggressive Warhorn. So there that is pretty much. Now, let's say you're going to go ahead and you have all stamina and you don't have magicka users in your 4-man party. That's fine. One of the options that I'll actually switch out with, and depending on a trial situation, I'll either throw in Living Trellis, which is great because it goes ahead and heals for 2,384 health each time they take damage, which is really nice. Also, when it expires, it heals for an additional 5,790. I really like this. Or I can even go down to the winners, and then I'll actually, if I'm in a trial, I'd rather prefer to use the Ice Fortress. Remember, guys, we're talking about adding a physical and spell resistance to our party members. Think of it like a tank. A tank needs resistance. Why? To go ahead and help mitigate damage. The more damage he mitigates, the less he has to be healed. The same applies to your party. And what Ice Fortress does is it applies the major resolve and the major ward, increasing physical and spell resistance to the parties within the area. So that's why I really like it. And then I also gain major protection, reducing my incoming damage by 8% because as a healer, I don't want to go down first. So a lot of times if somebody has combat prayer, I'll put Ice Fortress there. If anybody is using any form of Ellie Drain or not, I'll put Ice Fortress there. That is one thing the Warden healer offers that the other healers don't. It mitigates for the entire party instead of the parties having to rely on their own resistance. like Stam Sorks, I don't need this on my Stam Sork because I use Hurricane. But not all classes can say that. So Ice Fortress does come in handy. All right, so another thing I wanted to talk about was your champion points. There's been a lot of changes. We got 30 additional points, so we're going to go ahead and cover the CP. So Blessed is 1407. I just put an extra point there. A couple people have been like, whatever. 1407. I put 1 point. Elfborn, I actually have raised that. Remember, I'm going to be running the Thief Mundus, so I want to take advantage of critical heals because they lowered the base to Blessed, so critical heals become a lot more essential, so I'm taking that up to 20.15. Remember, guys, I'm going to be doing some damage with the Lightning Staff. Ideally, I don't give a damn about my damage as a healer. I'm going to stick to my role. I want to be dedicated. I want to be the best healer that I can be, but with the Lightning Staff, I'm going to be dealing damage, so I'm going to put a little bit into the penetration. Also, when I'm hitting any of the ultimates in that, I want to increase that frost damage, so I put Elemental Expert up to 707. Also, Staff Expert. This is the big one because why? That's right. I'm weaving in between my rotation quite frequently. The more damage my staff deals, the more I'm going to get off that healing tick. So I want to take advantage of the Staff Expert. I have nothing into the Ritual. Over at the Steed, we have 44 points, which is 17.7 for our direct damage. I have nothing in the Thick Skin. I could go ahead and drop this down, but most of the time, and when I play to the back, I notice I take more upfront direct damage than dot damage. Dot damage is usually applied in front-end battles, so that's why I don't put in Thick Skin. I split the difference between Hardy and Elemental Defender at 1301. I had 1 point left, so I put it in Light Armor Focus, and I might switch out for Healing Ward. I do have points in Bastion. I don't typically run a lot of shields, but sometimes in those moments, I need Healing Ward. So I want to have a couple points slotted into this just in case I have to slot it, like Mulakina is a prime example. I will use the Healing Ward. When I use Healing Ward or Barrier, I want to take advantage of it, and that's where Bastion comes in. Also, quick recovery. I just like to increase my healing received. I know a lot of people hate this, and if you don't want to put it here, that's fine, but I'm a healer, don't want to go down last, and since I'm healing myself, why not increase my healing to myself is my theory. So yeah, I do put 707 in the quick recovery. If you don't want to, by all means, you don't have to. All right, Warlord, reduce the cost to break freeze by 904, 20 points allocated. Tenacity is at 14. I'm not even going to have people, whatever. I have extra points. It rounded up to the full, whatever. I'm happy with it. If you guys want to get all technical, whatever. But Arcanist is at 1407. I did put 1 point in there to make some people happy there because they're being anal, whatever. My health recovery. Now remember, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I like taking advantage of health recovery and receiving health. Even though I'm a healer and I'm healing myself, the more I have to heal, well, it kind of takes away from my resources. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pump up a little bit into my health recovery. And then I have nothing into the shadow, and that is how I have chosen to use my champion points. So there it is. Now, here's one of the conversation pieces that I really want to get into. Is a lot of somebody's like, can you use necropotence and trials? Well, yes, you can. But one of the major things that you want to keep, I have the spell power cure. So there's never going to be anybody arguing about spell power cure. That becomes irrelevant at this point. But a lot of times people want to say, you should be using the worm. The worm is a great alternative set. So if somebody's not using the worm, I would recommend using the worm. But here's the deal for me, man. I'm going to actually show you guys the skills and a couple of the things here. All right. So keep in mind, guys, that Combat Prayer currently is healing for 6,193 on my tooltip, right? When I activate my Blue Betty with the Necropotence, I go up by like 400 points on my heal. That's a pretty serious increase. And you add that effect across the board. So what you're doing is when you're using the worm, you're going to be sacrificing the strength of your heals to by a 4%, 4 to 5%. If you get all gold, you get 5, but typically most people have 4% reduction for your party members. It's debatable. It's completely debatable. So I always tell people, yes, Worm is going to benefit party members. No doubt there. Also, you can use other sets like, the new one in Halls of Fabrication. You can use Twilight's Remedy. There are a lot of options for secondary sets. So I don't want you guys getting focused on secondary sets. But keep in mind your secondary sets are... I didn't mean to say it like that. I know what some of you people are thinking. But... some of the secondary sets, you're going to lose to gain something. And what you want to gain becomes the question versus what you're going to lose. That's the most important question that you have to answer for your play style and what you're bringing to a party. Okay? Plain and simple. It's just like that. It's just that simple, guys. All right. Now, another thing I always want to show people here is, and this is really important as well, you guys will see on this side, my spell critical is 42, right? When I go ahead and hit my Lotus Blossom, I'm going to get to jump up to 52, all right? And when I switch, you're going to see it doesn't increase. Why doesn't it increase? Well, because it's on that bar, all right? That's why. Simple. That's why I don't use the inner light, and that's, of course, why I have that ability slotted with the Northern Storm. Does it make sense? I hope it does. So, because when you take a look at this side, right, now let me go ahead and activate the Blue Betty again. Okay. So, this takes up our Magicka to 46.4, right? On this side, we're at 45.2. Right? And the major reason we're getting that drop is because of the aggressive Warhorn. Alright? But the Northern Storms makes up the difference, thus increasing the healing capabilities of these. Alright. So, that's pretty much the update on this build. Of course, though, I'm going to go ahead, we're going to do some dailies and show it in action, because just what I do. You know? It is what I do. And I really like the Warden Healer. I'm usually somebody had asked me, I run a lot of different things. I have 16 characters. But somebody had asked me, oh yeah, I got to turn that daily. A lot of people ask me, about healers, and because I play every healer. I have every healing class. And Dire Frost. Okay, that's cool. Hopefully I get a pretty good group on a bet.
Tail stick, spindle clutch.
Yeah. Okay, that's 2. I don't know. I want to see what this is. I never... Cradle of Shadows. I won't do it with a pug. I always grab my dudes on any of the DLC ones. But a lot of people will ask me about healers, and they always ask me about Templars. I do have a Templar healer. Most of you guys know this. I think it's a good healer. But to me, it was novice. I don't like novice healing, right? Meaning, it's hard to fuck up the build. I think people can fuck up the rotation more than they can fuck up the build. A lot of people will make common mistakes, but, I'm more stereotyped, and I told somebody, I'm stereotyped in this game as the healer. I have all these healing classes, and I've done a lot of content on multiple healer builds, and I take a lot of pride into it, but at the same time, I'm a former elitist. I don't feel like I have to go ahead and prove something to people, right? My back's been against the wall since day one, but I understood what this game was about from the get. That was always the thing that I've always been into. I understood it. I was like, oh yeah, no, I can do this. Oh yeah, definitely. They've made it completely possible. It's completely plausible. And but I started off with more primarily healer builds, and I've just been kind of known for that. So a lot of my healer builds will get more views than any of my other builds. Not to say that I don't have other builds. It's just, everybody's like, wow, he's done the Nightblade. He's done the Sorcerer. He's done the DK. He's done the Warden. And of course, yeah, he does have the Templar. It's like, yeah, I do. But, the DK was my third healer. And it started off weird because someone's like, there is no abilities that supports a DK healer. And I'm like, whoa, wait Wait a minute. Do you believe that? Let's take a look. And like I said, I wasn't the first. One other YouTuber who's very, very popular is Eloa or something. Eola. She did DK healing way before me. Now, I did not know this until after I had leveled and got my DK healer up. But then I was kind of curious, how many people roll DK healer? And surprisingly enough, there are players who roll DK healers. It's been like that. PC players, and I've always told console players this, PC players are a different cut of players. The reason being, because, well, they're a little bit more acceptable of what the game truly offers. Console players kind of have, not all console players, so I'm not going to stereotype all of them, but majority of console players are kind of like, I think, young and naive, right? To believe that only one class is suited for that role. And in this game, that's never been the case. It's never came out of a dev's mouth that this class is best suited for this. It's never happened. It's never happened. Never. The reason being, they wanted to offer as many different alternative ways to, build your character towards DPS, that's why it's called the Holy Trinity. Not only do you need it for dungeons, but in Elder Scrolls, everything by the power of 3 is relevant. The number 3 has a very powerful meaning in a cosmic level, right? And I forget which person said, if you can understand the power of the number 3, you would be surprised how far you could go. And every level, in mathematics and everything. And in this game, they take it very serious. We have the Tribunal, right? Which is also the Triangle, right? For Morrowind. We also have the Holy Trinity of the DPS, the healer, the tank, right? And that every class can play all 3 roles efficiently. So they take the power of 3 so serious. The 3 factions, right? So we don't have 2 factions, we have 3 factions. The power of 3 is dominant in this game. And it goes without saying, because it's also applied in a lot of things in the real world and math, because, what's the square root of 3, I mean, come on, guys. It's kind of interesting, man. It's really interesting. And it's, and also, I'm not going to tell you, but, I think I won't tell you whatever, but I'm actually a Pisces, right? So, I'm on the 3rd month. There's another thing that follows in, and it's weird. So I've always been drawn also to the number 3. I'm not saying it's like a weird cosmic thing or something. I don't know, but the number 3, yeah, it's there. It's something's there about it. There's something real to it. I don't know why I'm not getting a Q. Come on, man. I'm a healer. Maybe there's shortage of tanks today. Yesterday it was healers, now it's tanks. I don't know. No, I actually did have to jump on my tank yesterday. But that's because of the party I was with. But, yeah. So, I have some new trolls. If you guys get a chance, please welcome them. They're on a couple of my new videos, whatever, posting. And it's funny because they're like, I want to full parse. And I'm like, well, first off, I never do full parses because I'm an MMOer. I've been used to working metrics. And I do have metrics on PC. And I have used a target dummy. But any real MMOer would first tell you, you never bank on what you're dealing damage on a target dummy. Usually, first, we don't call it a parse on a target dummy. We never call a target dummy a parser as an MMOer. That's how you can tell the difference between console players and PC players. If a console player asks for a parse on a target dummy, Even Gilliam and Outcast will never say, I parsed this on a target dummy. They're like, this is what I did on my target dummy. Because no, no respectable MMOer will ever say parse on a target dummy. Never. Because it's not real. Console players will ask, can I get a parse on a target dummy? You're a console player. Okay? You're a console player. Right? And just for you putting it, the sentence parse on target dummy, it's just, you have to understand from elite aspects what that really means. It's a joke. You're actually, you look more dumb than what you think you do by saying that. The reason being, you lose 15 to 20% damage because it doesn't move. It has no mechanics. Literally 15 to 20% difference in damage due to mechanics? Yeah, no. I'm never going to rely on a I never have. Never. I'd rather have metrics. Console, though, we don't have metrics. Is it really that relevant? Well, yeah, to a degree. It's important to understand your rotation and how much damage you're dealing, right? And target dummies, I guess, are good for that. Give you your initial. So when I do a test on a target dummy, sometimes I'll practice rotation. That's what I also use on target skeletons or target dummies. That's what target dummies were made for. I mean, it's got good idea how much damage you can deal, but rotation is why target dummies were really created to begin with. Also, it would help you give an idea of each ability's damage per hit. So when you put up a combat screen, right, which we don't have on console, once again, console players, but on PC they do. They'll put up the combat screen when they're on target dummies. The reason being, they can see each hit for its base, its crit, blah blah blah, and the combat log will go ahead and scroll down through it. So we never consider a target dummy, what they call skeletons in this game, but every other game it's target dummy, a real thing. It's just not. It's not. It's not. It's just there. It's junk. It's trash. I used to be, like I said, I was a raid leader. I'm former elitist. All right? You can actually Google my gamer tag. I'm in multiple MMOs. I'm in MMORPG.com. I've posted so many different things throughout my years. Sure, we'll help him out. Let's help. I'm sorry, dude. I was going to. You guys saw it, but I got my cue. If I put up a trade window, it could go weird. Did anybody see my bids yesterday? It was so... What the hell? Somebody declined it. Maybe I can. We'll see. I'm trying to get there. Steel ingots. I have a shitload, so I'm not really worried about it. Here, we'll give him a stack. I'll give him a full stack. Sure, dude. I'll give you a stack.
Did you get it? Did your invitation arrive? Rub it in, why don't you? If you must know, Shadowstooler has rejected me.
There you go, friend.
I'm sure it's just a clerical...
Go, Khajiit. Stay out of the skooma. Stay away from the skooma. It's bad for you. But anyways, yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, yeah, I've done so many games. It's ridiculous, literally insane. Probably spent like a quarter of my life in MMOs. At least it feels like it. But I've had good experiences, but I was an elite dick. I was such a dick. This game, I promise not to do that. I've said to myself, I am not doing that anymore. That's just over with. In this game, I don't have to be honest with you. Like, these supposed elitists in this game are a fucking joke. They're a fucking joke. They're a fucking joke every day of the week. Old school MMOers, I'll personally still, remember I said former elitist. Yeah, I was an elite fucking dick. I'm gonna flog every goddamn player who says any fucking thing about content in this game. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. You fucking little crybabies are fucking elite. You're fucking punk bitches. You don't know what the fuck elite is. You would never call yourself a fucking elite shit in this game if you played half the fucking content that some of these other games had to fucking made you go through. Right? You guys don't know what a fucking weekly lockout is. You don't know what DKP is. You don't fucking know fucking shit. You know? Yeah, don't make me do it, guys. I don't want to be back to my elite asshole self. Don't make me be that. Don't make me be that person. I'm already putting some of these dumb fucks to shame. You don't want me to be that dick again. And I don't want to be that dick. But these motherfuckers are a fucking joke. Like this one dude, I'm number one. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. You play Elder Scrolls. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Go to a real MMO and tell me. Not say Elder Scrolls isn't a real MMO. But play a fucking one that's a fucking real bitch, man, and complain to me. You know? It's probably one of the reasons, like, I really liked it. This game's more laid back. It doesn't have to be all fucking shit. Yeah, the devs do make it challenging. There are some challenging shit. But when's the last time you spent 6 hours in a fucking trial? Don't worry. I'll fucking wait. When's the last time you spent an hour and a half in a dungeon, right? When it first came out. If you say all the time, you better check your fucking party members. I better start paying attention. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, man. I am fucking so sorry. I don't mean to, like, offend anybody who's first-time MMOers and they think that this game is just so fucking hard. But seriously, it's not. It's fucking not. It's fucking not. Actually, I love it. I love the fact that it's not linear. There's no fucking bis. Fucking bis. Let me fucking smack you with a real MMO stick. Fucking give you a fucking clue. Are they skipping? I hate skipping, but oh well, I don't care. I don't need anything in here. I just hate skipping. But yeah, dude, fucking EverQuest. Ask an EQ player about fucking elite hardcore, and then put this game in its category. I dare you. I dare you fucks to do it. Somebody under? What's that dude's life at? He drops so fucking low. 25, 20, but what is yours? 45. Why has he got 25k? I don't know, man. 23. Oh, well, he's getting the buff from Eben. We all are. Oh, and then the buff from me. Alright, that makes sense.
I don't know.
But yeah, guys, you guys don't like DC. When I played DC, I love DC. Rift I actually really like too. That game was still considered hardcore by a lot of players because what it took to get your gear. But at the same time, I mean, we'd get out in like HK in like 3 fucking hours on a full run. I'm like, hell yeah, I was like jumping up and down when I'm used to 6.5 in fucking WoW or EverQuest or some other shit. I mean, seriously, man. I'm like a full HK run, 3.5 hours. Fuck yeah, man. That was when it was like we were progressive guild. You guys even know what the word progressive guild means? I mean, seriously. It means most of the time you can't even get past a boss because nobody's got that gear from that first boss piece to get some of the sets to get through the entire fucking dungeon. You need the set that you're trying to get to complete it. It's fucking annoying. Yeah, don't ever talk to me about fucking being elite in this game or being fucking hardcore. I haven't seen one of these motherfuckers that are fucking on the tubes or some shit that's impressed my ass. Once again, this is why I was forced to become a YouTuber. 20 fucking years and they ignore the fucking MMO rules. Fucking dumb fucks. But they all know it now. Oh, there's diminishing returns. And oh, you know, there's this thing called, you know, this and that. Wow, man, wow. You guys are fucking brilliant. It only took you fucking 2.5 years to figure it out? What the fuck? Telling you guys, don't make me be that person again. Please don't. That's why I don't join guilds. I get like guild invites every fucking day. Every day. Now I actually am in trial guilds. Not trial guilds. I have a trial guild. I don't roll with them a lot, honestly. I get annoyed by people, but I have a trader guild. And a lot of my trader guild on both of them know me. So they'll be like, hey, you know, we need this. If I speak up at any time, it's an automatic. They're like, yeah, Mystic, you're in. You're in. We'll take it. I have no problem getting in any trial I want in this platform. None. Zero. I love my guild members. They roll with me. They're familiar with me. I have some of the top players on my friends list. They'll roll with me every day of the week. I don't have a problem with it. Zero. So if I want to play content, I'm like, hey man, you guys need a healer, you need a tank, need deeps? Yeah, you're in, dude. Okay, cool. Thank you. And then I'll play, I'll get whatever gear I'm trying to get, I'll farm up some pieces, whatever, whatnot. I don't do it daily, I don't do it weekly, I do it as needed. That's how I play the content in this game, right? Because I don't have to do it weekly like I did every other game because I had a weekly fucking lockout. No, I could take the same tune I just completed a trial with and take them back in.
Why is nothing?
Where's the hardcore aspect in this game? Huh? Huh? Get over it, guys. Seriously, you guys are fucking clueless. Until you experience a lockout. If you've never experienced a lockout and you think you're elite, you're fucking clueless. And yeah, do I sound like a dick in elite? Oh, trust me, I was worse. I was so worse. Like literally, if one of my guild members even fucked a mechanic, let alone a rotation, let alone a mechanic, and I saw a fucking hit on the fucking parse on my metrics drop below the value that they're supposed to have, I went the fuck off. Come on, guys. Seriously, man. I said that's why I keep telling you guys, former elitist. This game, I don't have to be that. I don't. Not needed. Yeah, I am fucking off. I'm just kind of doing my thing here, trying to get people through this. To me, this is kind of an easy vet anyways. Bump the bitch. It never surprises me when DPS don't get things down when that boss starts hitting. It's always this healer or something. Dude, you got the... Don't get away. Get away. Get away. Great. Nope. Give me this. Get the other healer! Would somebody... Oh my. Love when DPS doesn't do its job. Okay, guys, rule of thumb. Okay, most MMOs, healers have this little button called res, right? And I know it's like this new... Can they see a giant circle even from behind you? I don't know, man. I got... Give it. Okay, at least this DPS does his job. No! Get away! Get away! No, consequently I can weave. The best thing to do is weave when you're in this. Just walk and weave. On the rest though, you can keep them healed. Okay, I'm gonna hit this, grab this up, hit the LE drain, and get the resources back out since this boss drains. Go back in, keep the bedding edge back up, reserve, hit this, now I can hit the damaging side and still heal. Every so many seconds I refresh. I just don't like the Betty to drop off typically. Not even asking. I hate this drain, man. Yeah. Honestly, I don't miss the whole elite thing, actually. My guild members were the greatest. I had like a couple guilds I was in. My original guild, we just went from like game to game. And every time I'd get into a new game, whether I was playing with them or not, and we get new players and whatever, one of the major things I always found was like we wanted to just kind of do content initially, like, oh, it doesn't have to be like this anymore, and I'm like, no, we're all competitive, so yeah, it's going to end up like that. It's going to. We were competitive players. It's just the way it was. One of my best friends was like, you're such an elite dick, and I'm like, coming from you? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? And he was like, because we played a couple games together, and did shit, and he was like, dude, you're just so elite. You didn't have to be, because it was like he was being nice one day, and I was like, dude, you're never fucking nice. You're a fucking worse dick than I am. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, I think you just got something for this player. And they're like, whoa, what do you mean? I'm like, man, you're sure taking this person under your wings. And I'm like, come on, man. We were young. We were fucking cocky as hell. We were so fucking arrogant. Such little dicks, man. And the more and more, I hated it. I hated what I was. You know, and then all of a sudden, like I said, I come to this game, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, man. This game seems so much more chilled and yet cool. And they got this, they got that. I was pretty excited, to be honest with you. And then I see these little wannabe elite players, and I'm like, Okay. Is there weekly lockouts? No. Okay. And at that time, like I said, the gear, it was like BR14 and I was BR16. So none of the gear means shit anyways until 1 Tamriel, which, okay, or prior to that, and they brought back, and so it was like, what, 2 updates before 1 Tamriel or some shit. Anyways, when they brought it back, it was like, okay, cool. And Maul and everything else, and I'm like, you guys don't know what it's like. And my, one of my guildies was like, yeah, I play World of Warcraft, man. Seriously, this game is Care Bear in comparison. I'm like, thank you. Fucking thank you. I'm like, you guys don't want it, man. You don't ever want a linear system. You don't want a best system. You don't want to be really elite. Please stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it, guys. Trust me. I haven't been hitting my war horde either. That's how much I'm fucking off today. I don't even care. I'm tired. I'm aggravated at times. I'm not even gonna lie, man. You know, some of these, you know, I like this build. I love what the devs did in this game. I love what actually I commend the devs what they did in this game. Rift had the same thing kind of going on. So I had souls in Rift, and I could play every class in Rift based on my souls. I could switch out my souls on the fly. And so if I wanted my mage to do DPS, okay, right there it is. If I wanted him to heal, just switch out my soul. If I wanted him to tank, just switch out my soul. So all my classes could play every role. Right? Some were more dominant than others, but ideally, yeah, if I wanted to tank a raid on a mage, okay, have at it. Didn't mean it was like the best scenario, but at the same time, yeah, completely doable. Completely. And there were some balance issues with Rift, why I left Rift. When I came, and I was floating for a while, and all of a sudden I came here, and I'm like, cool, they have the same kind of concept that Rift has. Every class can play every role, which I'm so down for, man. Let's sign me up, let's try it, let's play, let's mess around. And I didn't see a lot of players really embracing what they had, right? I think it was more annoying. I'm like, you guys have a fucking great ass fucking opportunity here, and you're trying to make it something like an elite ass game, or this is the best for this and this is the best for that. I mean, are you guys fucking joking me? Seriously? I mean, this is a fucking joke. This is a joke. Bad thing, also, you guys want to keep attention of Warden. Sometimes players forget that you're a Warden healer, right? I wish I could see your guys' comments. Fortunately, I can't. But, yeah, for anybody who's ever going to say something to me in this game, okay. Do you have a DK healer? I do. Shit, I've healed Sanctum Ophidian with DK. I've done fucking Maul in the DK. What are you trying to tell me, dude? I healed normal. I have freaking 11 people that would tell you I healed normal Maul as a solo healer with the DK. Do I put it out there like that and like, I'm gonna show my clip and, you know, whatever? No, who gives a fuck? That becomes my question. Who cares? Who cares? I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It was so weird because one of my buddies was like, hey, Mystic, can we bum your DK healer? Which happens You know, that actually does happen quite a bit. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, you know, cool. And he's like, oh, it's not really hard. We're just doing normal maul. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool, man. I actually need a couple of things in there, man. So yeah, I'm definitely down, man. And I went in, and here I was, the only fucking healer. I'm like, dude, what's up? He's like, dude, you're into DK. I want to wear. I'm like, I've never solo healed maul, even a normal maul. And he's like, dude, you got it, man. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, you got more faith in me than I do, but sure, why not? And I did it. Yeah, it was normal, but I did it. Do I care? That becomes the better question. No, I don't. I don't care at all. Excuse me. I don't want to be like one of those players. I don't care about scoreboard, leaderboards. I don't give a fuck about none of that anymore. 2-3 years ago, probably would have been a whole different beast. I would have been like, you know, putting number ones, posting on videos. I already call people dumbasses anyways, but I probably would have been really ignorant with it. And it's not an attractive feature to anybody, guys, to be that way. It's just not. Like, I'm number one. I just want to have fun. That's all I want, man. I don't want to be the best at anything. I want to be able to play the content, be able to get through every piece of content very efficiently. I want to offer players their alternative, their build solutions. I want to give them the best alternative solutions as much as possible. Remember when I first started this channel, guys, for the people who's been with me, I've always been non-meta. Kev DeWitt posted a video, and he actually quoted it. Meta is dead. I actually commented, I was like, dude, you gave me a tear of joy when you said it. And he liked my comment. And because I've always said, that's right, death to the meta! Death to the meta! Should hit this. And that's always been something for me, man. I never wanted to be meta. Never. And I'm like, you don't fucking have to be. You never had to be meta. You know, it was a facade, man. It's come on, man. The devs did not place all the shit in the game so you could only you have to only pick one. The rest is garbage. There's no diversity whatsoever in this game. It's only one way. Come on, man. Come on. Seriously. Seriously, guys. And yeah, I'm fucking off. I'm just bullshitting, talking, and healing at the same time, making sure people don't die. That's the only thing I'm trying to do and get through it. But, yeah. Nah, man. Kev DeWitt really made me really happy when he said it, and a lot of things that players are now starting to take advantage of. I feel like I've helped contribute that, and I'm really happy about it, man. That's what gives me the joy playing this game. Giving you guys you can do it, man. You can do it. Even if you're a new player coming in, the hardest aspect for a new player isn't necessarily the build, right? It's easy to go see what other players are doing and emulating that. The hardest thing for a player is getting rotation down. That's the hardest aspect. You can copy anybody's build piece by piece, but if you don't have that rotation down... Is that the person commenting, Swig? But you can literally copy a set piece by piece, man. Piece by fucking piece. And it doesn't mean you're going to be good if you don't have the rotation down. If you ain't got the fucking rotation down, man, it's... Sorry, man, you're going to struggle. Regardless of how many sets you have. What sets you're running. And I have them all, except the new set out of Halls. I have all the fucking sets. So why do I give a fuck? Someone's like, was talking about Vicious Ophidian and Two Fang. I'm like, I have the fucking sets. You don't get Get the fuck over it. I don't like Two-Fang. I don't. I'm sorry. It's an okay set. I don't like the drop-off. I'm sorry, man. That's my personal preference. I can work around it, though, so I'm good. I love it because people are like, it's BIS. No, it fucking never was. Now remember, guys, also when everybody went sharpen, nobody was talking about exceeding differences. Now Gilliam's like, oh, you know, if you exceed, you can't do more. But who was the first to talk about it? Come on, guys. Come on. Yeah, I'm not going back to that. I'm definitely not going back to the elite asshole dick. And every time I see these kids, and that's what they mostly are, most of the people who have the elite attitude are not grown-ass adults. They're usually kids, man, who are just 18, 19. They're kids. They're kids, man. Some of them are really skilled, man. They are. Not saying they're not. But, no, you don't have to be elite in this game. You don't have to be. You have to know the mechanics, know your build, know your rotation, know what the fuck you're doing. Other than that, you're good. I'm dragging back in the middle, man. Excuse me. Now remember, the Warden isn't optimal for healing. It's a jack of all trades. Have we heard that one? Okay, sure. I have like 12, like maybe 8 or 12 blood spawns. Sure, got divine. Cool. Anyways. I hope you're not elite, Swig. But yeah, help players, man. Just try to help them, man. You know, that's the only thing you have to do. Try to help players out. And I think the more positive you are and the more you walk away from, you know, trying to be the best, the better you become. As weird as that may sound. So I just remember, you know, I don't know, man. It was just crazy. Like, I wish a couple of console players, I could transplant a couple of console players in to those MMO scenarios, man. I wish I could. I wish I could take some of these console kids and transplant them, you know, 3, 4, 5 years ago into Karazhan. You know, when we were just getting keys, we were unlocking, and actually probably like 6 years ago even. Shit, it's been a while. I wish I could take players and take them back to EverQuest when you would traverse an entire fucking dungeon to get to the last boss, right? And there's a team, because there was no instance. It was open. Raids were open in the original EQ. So you would go all the way through a dungeon, and then guess what? There's a team farming the last boss for their gear there. And it wouldn't matter if you hit it or not. The first team who hits gets drop. It was such a bitch. It was such a fucking bitch. It was like, and respawn rates were long. I'm not talking whatever. I'm talking retardedly long. We didn't have the convenience of, oh, the respawn timer is based upon X amount of people in the area. Oh hell no. Oh hell no, that didn't happen like that. That's not how it went down. Yeah, we're like on between a 30-40 minute, respawn timer for a final boss in a friggin' raid. Shut the fuck up, man. They finally changed it, but it was like, holy shit. It was a pain in the ass, man. You guys don't fucking know. And if you do know, just give me an amen, man. These little pretenders don't know. They don't fucking know. They're little wannabes, man. They're pretenders. They're posers. That's what they are. They're good. They're talented, but dude, you're not elite. You play Elder Scrolls. Get the fuck over yourself. Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. It's great. I love it. The devs made it so much more chillaxed. It doesn't have to be elite. Oh my god. It's fun. It's actually a fun game. I tell people the worst experiences of my life were the games that I actually had to put in a shitload of work. It was work. It was just time-consuming, gut-wrenching work. And once upon a time, you had fun, but being a real elite, you never did have fun. You didn't have time for fun. You were like, someone's like, oh, let's go do this. It sounds like fun. And you're like, fun? Who in the fuck are you, man? I ain't got time for fun. I've got to get number 1 in this. I got to get the server first. I have AQ. I got to get server first. What the fuck are you talking about fun? And that's the way your attitude was, being elite. You were friggin' a dick at all times, 24/7. And it wasn't fun. The game wasn't fun anymore. It sucked. And now I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. Ever. I'm not going to go ahead and take these little wannabes and feed them stupid shit, because they're going to make me the person I don't want to be no more. I'm going to give you guys your options, your build. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. That's completely up to you as an individual. Like I said, I've always been non-meta, but yet I've completed content without problems. At the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to do. A lot of people question Sorcerer Tank. Yeah, I did white gold live on my Sorc Tank. I don't know if we got to complete it on hard mode. No, we didn't, because the healer did. We did vet, but I didn't get the hard mode in because they didn't have barrier or friggin' healing ward to during the little cross phase. But yeah, crazy, man. Crazy, dude. I mean, the healer was okay, just couldn't, but during that speed thing, I had a problem. But I did it live. And I'm like, who told you guys it has to be this way? Who told you that? Whoever told you that is fucking full of shit. Matter of fact, I don't think I see a lot of YouTubers, even if I like them or not, even say it has to be this way. They've never said that. I've never seen them say this is the. And if they have, and some have, I've come out and busted them right across the face, proving them wrong every day, all day. That's what this channel's always been about. Just getting rid of misconception. Not proving I'm right, just getting rid of misconceptions. So, anyways, guys, this is the Warden. Healer. I think he's a healer. And this is Mystic Raven. You've been watching ESO Daily. Want to thank you for tuning in. And once again and always, have a nice day.